Okay. Part 5 of my diary. I'm gonna get back to my story. Last time I left off with the first time that CJ and I cheated. And so basically what happened after that, I guess CJ was able to tell Michelle some kind of story that she believed. I guess, he kind of told her half-truths that he, got drunk and fell asleep while he was over at my place. So yeah. It wasn't long after that, well, I guess I should talk about my reaction to it, to, that night. CJ put me off for a few days, even though I told him that we had to talk, and he was like, yeah, but then after that I didn't hear from him, and so I was hurt. I just assumed that he was just gonna drop me, drop me like it's hot. And so I was down for a few days, and by the end of it, I was ready to let him go at that point. But we worked together, so the next time I saw him at work, we didn't talk for the whole shift, but then at the end of the night, he came to me and asked me if I was okay, and all of my resolve to not be friends anymore just kind of disappeared. I don't know why I could never stay mad at CJ for very long, even though in our course of our relationship there were plenty of times when I probably should have just let him go. I had plenty of reason to. But yeah, so I guess we talked about things. I don't remember what we ended up talking about or how we talked it out or anything like that. I guess we worked it out. And it wasn't long after that CJ told me that Michelle wasn't comfortable with us hanging out anymore, with good reason, and that the only way that CJ and I would still be able to hang out would be if Michelle would get to meet me and get to know me a little bit. And I was a little leery about it at first, but I guess I cared more about spending time with CJ than I did about not letting things get into more of a mess. So I agreed to meet Michelle. And it was a little nerve-wracking at first. I mean, who wouldn't be? And she's a girl very much like me. We have a lot of the same, I don't know, we have kind of the same background as far as how we grew up. I don't know, we're just similar people. We had a lot in common. Probably the one thing that we had the most in common was the thing that should have driven us away from each other. But yeah, but that didn't stop CJ and I from cheating. There was one time that CJ and I got together, I guess before I met Michelle, when we were talking about what our relationship was going to be. And CJ, he never knew what he wanted to do with me. I think he wanted, fun on the side, but he wouldn't call it that because nobody wants to be called fun on the side. Nobody's going to stick around if they know that that's what they are. At least not at first. Trying to remember how everything happened. It just kind of seems like a blur now. I think after the first time that CJ and I had sex and we were unsuccessful, it almost became a goal for me to be able to have sex. And I think, well, I didn't learn about this till later, but I guess one of the main reasons that CJ even bothered to mess with me was because he wanted to know what it was like to have sex with a virgin. I think, I don't know why, but I think he almost kind of had a goal to be able to, I think he felt like if he kept doing stuff with me until I got to the point where I can have sex with someone without pain, I think he wanted to help me do that, and then, kind of let me go off on my own after that. Because he always talked about, well, whenever you get a boyfriend, we'll have to stop. Of course, he didn't respect the fact that he had a girlfriend. I think he felt guilty a little bit for, I don't know exactly what for. I knew he felt guilty about something, but he told me once he didn't feel guilty about cheating. I think he felt guilty for, I guess, taking away moments with me that I probably should have been sharing with somebody else. I don't know. And yeah, so it kind of became, I think I kind of became obsessed with sex for a while after that, because it became a goal to be able to have sex without pain. And then after we accomplished that, then it became a goal to be good at sex, because I felt like CJ had invested so much time and effort into, helping me get to that point to where I felt like I wanted to pleasure him. I wanted to give back, what he had done for me. And so we kept going, and we never stopped cheating. And I guess neither of us really respected CJ's and Michelle's relationship. I always just figured if CJ was cheating, then there was something obviously wrong in their relationship and it wasn't going to last. So I guess I curbed my guilt with that line of thinking. I always felt like it wasn't going to be long, even though CJ would tell me I'm not going to break up with my girlfriend to be with another girl, which guys kind of have a screwed up logic. There was one other time, this was the guy back in high school, he broke up with his girlfriend to be with me, and then told me that he didn't want to date me for a while, so it didn't look like he was going from one girl to the next, even though that was exactly what he was doing. And then somewhere within that time period, he decided he missed his girlfriend and wanted to go back to her. And so, and now this new guy, was telling me he didn't want to break up with one girl to be with another, but instead he was going behind her back. and messing around with another girl. So I don't know. I don't understand guys' logic sometimes. I think they don't like to see the tears. They don't like to see the sadness. But they still want to get what they want. They want to do what they want without the consequences. Well, anybody. That's guys and girls. It's not just guys. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't respect their relationship. I always had the mindset that it was over because, I mean, if he was cheating on her, there were problems, and it was, I don't know. At some point, he also told me it wasn't the first time that he cheated on her, and Michelle knew about the first time. I don't know. Michelle probably should have given up on CJ a long time ago too, but I guess I know all too well how hard it is to stay mad at him, especially if you've invested a lot of time into him. You know, you just kind of feel like all that hard work working on your relationship goes to waste. I don't know. But anyways, we kept cheating, and then at some point I think it just kind of became habit. There were times when, one or the other of us would be like, this has to stop. There were times when CJ would say it, and I didn't want it to stop because I always felt like, well, I don't know. I think I wanted a peaceful, good ending. Because I remember one time, he said that this has to stop, and I told him, well, can we just one last time? I wanted, because the time before that was kind of a something that left me with not very good memories. And it, as things progressed, we would do it usually after going out dancing together, and every time that we went out dancing, he would always drink and get drunk. So pretty much almost every time I was with him, he was hammered. I don't know. I guess it just kind of became a routine. And there were a couple times that I tried to stop, but it was usually those nights when he was hammered. Because I knew that what we were doing was hurting Michelle, and by hurting Michelle, we were hurting CJ. So when I came to that realization that by letting this continue, that CJ was getting hurt, I would try to stop it, but like I said, the times that I tried to stop it were the nights that he was drunk and I guess in the mood to have sex. And I would tell him, no, we can't do this, and he would just kind of keep on going. So I don't know if you would call those times, it only happened a couple of times, but I don't know if you would call those times rape or not, because I didn't physically fight back. Because even though I would tell him we can't do it anymore, I still wanted it. I wanted to have sex with him. It felt good, and I liked the idea of pleasuring him. He made me feel desirable, which was something I haven't felt really ever. I've had guys like me before, but it's different when you're liked by someone that you like. I guess it gives you a higher self-esteem that someone that you deem to be, attractive and desirable, also has those feelings towards you. But yeah, so there were times when both of us wanted to stop, but it was never at the same time. And I feel that if we had only kind of coordinated, worked together to try to stop instead of one or the other of us trying to stop, that it would have worked out a little better. All right. Next video is going to be just kind of leading up to what I call the fallout. Maybe I'll get into it a little bit too, so. All right, till next time.